Okay, so you've backed your trailer into a fairly level spot. You're unhitched. First thing you want to do before you bring it up is to make sure it's level. So if you come have a look here, you can see if it's level side to side right here. You want that bubble to be fairly in the middle, and there's another one of these on the back. So there's two keys for the trailer. They're both gold. One is for the top, one is for the bottom. In the bottom you'll find all the tools you need to, that's the other key, to do up the trailer. You're going to need the crank, and it's useful for the level. Just to put it on top here, we checked this way, now we want to check this way, and as you can see right here, it's fairly level. It doesn't have to be exact, but you do want it in the middle or it'll be uncomfortable sleeping. So once you've checked that you're level always, so we know that the trailer is level, so we're going to use our crank, and we're going to do all four corners, but we want to make sure that this is, we'll leave that where it is right now. That's the front wheel. So we're going to go over here. We'll use the ends of the crank. You'll see where it fits in, and then slowly you just turn it. It's a very easy turn until such time as this hits the ground. You want it to hit the ground firmly, but once it hits the ground, you don't need to continue cranking it. You want it to stay pretty much level, and then you'll do the same thing on all four sides. Just till you feel it getting firm. So it's got the weight of the trailer. There's the third one. One more. There you go. Now we got all four things down. It's important to do two things. One is put your crank back in here, because if we lose that, it's lost. And the last thing to do, on the front wheel shouldn't be holding the weight of the trailer, so just take a little bit of weight off it so it's just loose. You can leave it there as a safety, but all the weight of the trailer shouldn't be sitting on it. Okay, so we're going to unclip the top. If you come have a look close here, to unclip it, you push down a little bit with one arm, pull this down, and it'll just pop open. We do that on all four sides. Push down, pop it open. Push down, nice and easy. And number four. Okay, so we're unclipped. We're gonna go get our crank from the crank storage compartment. And we're gonna pop up the trailer. You'll see on the crank, there is a hole. You need to fit this right into here, and you can see on the pipe where you want to lock this into. You have to wiggle it a bit to get it in. Okay, so to open it, you're going to go clockwise, and there is an arrow here that says ouverture in French rope in there. So you're going to hear it click as you go up. When you start getting near the top, you want to slow down because you don't want to over crank it. So that's getting near the top. And you'll feel it come to its end. Just don't push so hard that you over crank it. I can feel it getting tight. There, it's tight. So I can leave it right there. You can see here, that that's fairly tight, so you know it's all the way up. You don't want to over crank it. So I take the crank, wiggle it out, and put it back in the storage compartment. I'll get the keys that I left under here, close that up, otherwise things will fall out when you open the door, and the other key will open the door. Turn it, the handle pops out like this, and you just take the handle once it's popped out, and here's a warning: you want to hold the door or it might fall on your feet. Turn it, you can feel it come loose, and gently let it down. It is quite heavy and it might drop on your toes if you're not careful. That's all the way down, and that's now a stair to go inside. Pause. Next step is to open up the beds. We'll start on this side. If you look under here, there's a handle you can pull on right in the middle, and you just simply pull it straight back, and you'll feel it come to the end. Right now it's very loose. Nobody should be on there until we put the bars up. If you look underneath, there's a bar right here. It slides out, goes down, and it's going to go on here. Before we do that though, you have to slide the bar all the way to the end, right here. There, you'll see this comes down. Now it's locked in. I can't push it backwards. We'll leave that on the ground for a moment. Do the same thing on this side. Bring it down, slide it all the way back. Now once you have your bars ready to go, I suggest you just put your back under the bed a little bit, and you hook it on. I'll do this side first for you. You hook it on to this knob at the front as you're pushing up and back a bit, and if you come around this side, the knob on this side is located over here, and that's where we'll do it. So you put your back underneath, lift up a bit, and just place it right there. Now you'll see it's much firmer. Not that we should ever be bouncing on that, but it is firm for sleeping. To keep the bugs out, if you look underneath, there's little elastics that pull out and just clip here, and that keeps the canvas up. And that's on this side and on the other side. There we go. We'll do the same thing on the back of the trailer. There's a handle in the center of the bed. Just pull it straight back so you feel it click. Hear that? And we're going to do the same thing with the bars underneath. They pop out. You can let it move it right to the end so it won't go backwards. Same on this side. Pop it out. Slide it forward so it won't go backwards. Put your back underneath it a bit, and it'll go on this knob right here. And same on this side. Get our elastics. And on this side. There we go. Those are all set up. Okay, so now we'll start the inside setup. There's a sign here by the sink that says lift here. So if we grab it right there, nice and slowly, straight up, and then watch the curtains, set it down nice and slow. It's ready to go. You can pop the mirror down. There's a little swivel right here, and slowly let that down. And there's 2 shelves for toothpaste or whatever. Open up the curtains, and we're going to pop up the tent. We'll grab one of these bars that are stored on the bench. I call them J bars because they look like a J. And we're going to find the bar under here. There it is. Hook it on and gently push it up until you feel it snug. Hold this in so that both of these little keys go in, and we're going to insert this in here. And this, you got to push it a little bit, and you'll see it pop in. And if you let go of the buttons, it locks it in there. Same thing on the other side. There's a shorter J bar, so we'll open the curtains. We'll look for that bar, and we'll clip it on with the J pointing up, and slowly push it up, click the button, and release the button to lock it in. Now that both beds are up, we're going to put the door in. The door has 2 buttons right here and here to unclip it from the ceiling. So you want to stand under it and hold it with both hands and unclick one and the other. It won't fall on your head because it's held up by some wires, but you still want to be under it. You're going to lift it up and back to pop it out of here. up, back, and slowly lower the bottom end, and you'll see the follow. There's a little roller there, and lower the bottom end into the center of the doorway. I want to have a look here. You can see where it's going to fit, right in the center of the doorway. And it's down solid. You're going to look up here, push it in, and there are two clips here, so you push it, turn the clip, it'll pop back to keep it secure. Same on this side, push it, clip, secure. Now once you go outside, there's Velcro right here that'll Velcro on to keep the bugs out. And away you go. Okay, we'll set up the table. It's underneath the bench here. So we start on this end, move one of the cushions. You'll notice that in the storage area, is a gray bag. In the bag is the outdoor stove. So once you have that out, you can put this back, lift the middle one, it becomes a back, the other middle one this side, and you'll see there's a table here. So to get the table up, you want to slowly lift it up and keep it balanced so it doesn't slip. There's Velcro holding the legs. Pop a leg down. Make that bar straight. One leg up. Make it straight. Now you're ready to put the table back. And there you go. You can also, if you want to sleep here, then you just fold everything back down, put the cushions in, you've got another bed. Okay, we'll take the outdoor stove out of the bag. We're going to need the bag, so I'll leave it right there. And a little L bracket folds out, just Velcroed on. And you'll see at the back is this silver clip that will clip onto this part of the trailer. So if you start with it very high, make sure it's on, and slowly lower it, you'll see it's quite firm, and that L bracket underneath is holding it on. But what I do, two reasons: one, to protect the trailer, and the other so I don't lose it, is I just fold that up and I pop it under there, and it keeps it nice and level, keeps marks from happening here, and it will stay there with the pressure. So you'll see there is a propane clip right here. The propane clip will hook up the propane. There's a little black box under here with a white little lock. You turn the butterfly lock, open it up, and there's a quick release. So you simply take this, push the quick release in, pop it in, and there you go. You're in. We do have to turn on the mains. I'll show you how to do that. But you're ready to cook. You'll need a barbecue lighter. You turn it off and on here, but you will need a barbecue lighter. Once you're cooking, these are the wind guards. They go down on the sides. And please make sure that you keep it clean when you're done cooking. So when you're not using it, please keep it closed. And if you're not cooking, it's a good idea to take it right off because it's not super sturdy. If somebody put anything heavy on it, it would rip off the trailer. So now that the stove is hooked up, you can turn on the propane. It's located underneath the trailer. Whichever tank has the black cord attached to it is the tank that's currently being used. You simply turn on like a regular barbecue tank to make sure that the propane is flowing. And as soon as you're done cooking, for safety's sake, you want to make sure you turn it off here at the mains. If one of the tanks is empty, take this off and you put it on the other tank and you're good to go again. If you are using these tanks and you haven't brought your own tanks, please make sure that you return the tanks full at the end of your camping. Otherwise, switch up and put ours back. Thank you. So everything's basically ready. I still have the stove up. Normally I wouldn't leave this up when we're camping except for when we're cooking. But one thing I want to mention is it does come equipped with a canopy up here. If you did want to use the canopy, just grab a stool. You'll see it unzips. You unzip it all the way along, and out will fall a couple of poles. You want to make sure you got your hand there as you're unzipping it. And it'll unravel a canopy. The poles go on either end, and there's some strings to tie it back, and you want to keep it on a bit of an angle so you can have some shade here and to get the rain to wash right off. You will see that there are some extra poles. Don't panic. That's because there is an add a room feature for this trailer that you can put up, and it would require the extra poles, but we tend to just use the canopy. On the back side of the trailer is where you'll find the hookup for the electrical. If you're at an electric site, you'll find it just under here. Pulls out a bit. There is an adapter that's already on there. If you're at a site that doesn't need an adapter, it's ready to go like that. Or you pop this on. Use your extension cord, which does come with the trailer. Plug it in, and then plug into the electric site. The trailer is equipped to carry water for usage. We don't do that typically. If you are interested in that, I'd ask that you give us a call and we discuss it. There's a lot more complexity when you are using the water in the drains. One thing I will show you is under here is where the electric hookup is. You'll never really need to touch this. If you look underneath, it's currently running off the green, which means it's running off of an electric site as we've been plugged in. There is the feature to use propane heater here, but again, we find it's a lot easier just to plug in a regular household heater or radiator versus using the propane. If this is something that does interest you, please talk to me and I can walk you through how it goes, but it is a little bit complex. You shouldn't have to touch this for normal camping if you're just going and plugging in somewhere. That's about it for putting the trailer up. One thing that we found very useful, whether we use the canopy or not, is to have some sort of tarp or outdoor carpet to put underneath here, as it saves a lot of mud from getting tracked in. And on the next video, you'll see that we're going to close it all down. Please make sure that we sweep it all out and make sure it's nice and clean before it's time to shut down. Thank you.